Hey y'all, Novi here. Today we'll be making a tier list on the best presets in Escape from Tarkov Arena. Most of these are tier 6 kits with some tier 5s and 4s mixed in. So starting off with the Pharaoh kit, this kit is a tier 4 I believe. If we switch over to Tarkov Arena real quick, it is in the Assault class, and yeah, it's a tier 4 I'm pretty sure, or maybe a tier 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, tier 5, really strong. It has 7 and 40. Level 5 armor, level 4 helmet, and it has headphones. So very strong kit with a 60 rounder of BT as well. Even though it is a tier 5, I see it compete quite well with tier 6. So maybe you don't want to grind all the way to a tier 6. Pharaoh is your bet. So if we switch back to our tier list, I'd say that this is definitely an S tier kit. Honestly, it competes really well. It's not the best in the game. Maybe it's an A tier kit. However, because it's a tier 5 kit, I'll put it up there in S. You can grind for it a lot faster than the tier 6 kits. I mean, tier 6 kits are like 400,000 XP a piece. So yeah, that's going into S tier. Next, mouse. This actually comes down from the Pharaoh class. If you scroll down, you go through a hotel, and then you go down to mouse. You get a hex grid armor, which is level 6. Your helmet sort of sucks because it's class 3, but honestly, when people are running tier 6 kits, basically your helmet's going to be penned no matter what anyways, so it doesn't really matter. You get decent headphones. I mean, M32s are pretty shit, but the pretty nice thing though is you get this SA58 running M62, and this thing actually is really strong. It pens through a ton of stuff and it does a lot of damage, and you get an F1 grenade and adrenaline and some pretty good meds as well. So I'd say this is a really strong kit. Definitely not the best, but definitely like at least an A tier, I'd say. Next, Brigadier. This is the first class that I went down towards, and I gotta say it's pretty good. I don't think it's the best kit in the game. You do get M995, which is really strong, and you get headphones, and you get the U-lock, and then you get some tier 5 armor. It sort of sucks you don't get tier 6. I'd say that's a big reason why I think I'm probably gonna put this in A tier. It's a nicely modded HK though. Basically no recoil, and this Grizzly, if you get into like the late match with radiation, I don't think a single other class gets a Grizzly, so you can out heal anyone else, and you get a VOG 25, which again is a very nice nade. So if we switch back to our tier list, I'll probably put Brigadier in A. I think it could be an S tier, depending on the situation. It is really strong. It does feel though that there are some kits that just outperform the Brigadier. Even Mouse, I think, may be a better kit than Brigadier. And if we switch back to Arena, the grinding up to Brigadier is absolutely awful. This odd class is actually really nice, but Sector, this G36 doesn't have a scope other than the built-in one, which is awful. And the ones before that, you have to grind up shotguns, which is just like the worst grinding ever. I think grinding through Stiletto made me want to cry. And the Glock 17, honestly, I use the Glock with the AP ammo instead of the shotgun because this only pens through tier 4 and it doesn't always one shot. So yeah, so Brigadier is pretty good. Moving on from there, let's see what's next. The Mutant class. So I actually haven't seen that many people use this, but most of this is from what I've heard, and from what I've heard, the recoil is actually really hard to control apparently. So I'm going to throw that in B tier. We can take a quick look at it, but from what I can tell, it does look like a decent kit. You don't get headphones though. Your armor is only level 5. You know, your helmet's not bad, but this kit, even though it looks like a decently modded Mutant, it seems to have a lot of recoil still, and it doesn't have a silencer, and you only get 30 round mags. So it's fine. It's not, I don't think it's great though. Definitely could be a better kit, and maybe they need to like add on a better muzzle brake or something like that. So moving on to the Butcher, I'd say that pretty much everyone at this point agrees that the Butcher is probably the best class in the game, just by a long shot. It's on the CQB class tier or preset or class tree, and it is just absolutely nuts. As you can see, I'm actually grinding towards it right now as well. The reason this is so strong is you get a level 6 armor and you get level 5 helmet with a face shield that's also level 5. And I think its ricochet chance is also high, so you're going to be ricocheting a ton of stuff as well. And then your SA58 is really strong because it's a short barrel, which means that you can easily push around corners very tightly. and you get 50 round mags, which is absolutely insane. Now, what the most insane part is they give you a 30 rounder of M61. Its pen is 64 and damage is 70, means you're basically 2-tapping anyone and 1-tapping through any helmet completely. And yeah, so this is an absolutely insane class. If you want to dominate all of your matches, definitely just go for the Butcher. If they wipe, and this is still how ranked works with these presets, I'm going straight down the CQB for the Butcher just so I can grind. I know there are like teams of 5 who are all running the Butcher and they're just rolling every single match. They don't even have to be good. Definitely the most OP class in the game, at least in my opinion. So yeah, really strong class, I'd say. Moving on to the Guardian, this is also in the CQB class. It's decent. You get 7N40. I don't think it's as good as the Butcher, but it's decent. I'd say honestly, even I think Mouse is probably better than the Guardian, and it's probably pretty close to the Brigadier. I think Mouse is probably Guardian slightly better, but I'd probably put Guardian in A tier right there. I think that's probably, if we take a quick look at Guardian. It is actually past Zenith, it's the other line past Butcher. And basically you get 7N40, which is nowhere near as good as the SA58. And it has a lower fire rate as well. So definitely nowhere near as good as Butcher, but decent. Your Vulcan, it's like fine, but your eyes and jaws are level 4 armor instead of level 5. And yeah, I mean, it's fine. You don't get the stims that the Butcher gets either. You get as a good stim as the Butcher. So not as good, but still decent. Moving on from there, we got the Haymaker. Pretty sure this is in the Assault kit. You get MA855A1. Pretty bad. I honestly think that it's worse than the Brigadier. I might even put it down here. I think it's better than the Mutant probably, because you get 100 round mags, which can be really strong if you use them correctly. Let's go find it. I'm pretty sure it's in Assault. No, I'm wrong. Sorry. It's another CQB class. So yeah, so Haymaker, you get M855A1, you get the 100 round mags, which are decent. You do get a Slick, which is level 6, which is nice. You don't get and you get headphones, but you don't get a face shield or anything. And your meds are pretty normal. But I'd say that this class is it's fine, but it's just not as good as the Butcher. Or even, even Nightmare, maybe better than that, just because you get the Blackout AP. But yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's just not that good though. Moving on to Flanker. I'm pretty sure Flanker gets SA. Let's see. Yeah, it gets SSAP. So if we'll go into Tarkov Arena, I'll show you. You get SSAP, no helmet, because it's in the Scout class. You get a nice headset, and you get an SJ6 and a bunch of stims and stuff. But again, SSAP is decent, but it's only does 38 damage, and the AUG is really slow firing. So I'd say this is probably one of the worst classes. C, maybe even D, honestly. I don't think it's worth, we could move the Mutant down to C maybe and have it like that. And yeah, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I would not go for this class. I think there are much better Scout classes to go for. We can just go right into our next one on the tier list. Our next class is the Cobra, and I'd say this, again, one of the best classes in the game, if not the best. It's up there with Butcher. The only reason I'd say the Cobra is not as good as the Butcher is because Cobra has some big issues with its AS Val. If you go through all 4 mags of the AS Val has a pretty high chance of jamming. So that's something to keep in mind. You do get this better ammo, the PAB9GS ammo, which is something to keep in mind. It does more damage and has more pen as well. Your armor sort of sucks. It's only level 4 armor, so you're definitely very easily killed, but you can kill most people in 2 shots. And you also get this sort of a meme pistol. Definitely a very strong class though. I know a ton of high level players that are running this a ton. And your only problem is you're not going to be 5 wiping, because it's just going to be rough with your AS Val running out of steam pretty early on. So back to our tier list. Chimera. This is the class that is right below the Cobra and the thing, and I honestly think that it's worse than Cobra. You do get MAI AP on it, but I'd say that Chimera probably is worse than Brigadier as well. Maybe better than Haymaker. I'll probably put Chimera right there. If we go back to Tarkov Arena real quick, You do get the rack headset, but it's really not that good, and your armor is class 4, again, pretty bad. And then if we take a look at this, MAI AP is pretty nice, but it doesn't do a lot of damage, and I don't think this has that high of a fire rate. Yeah, 600 RPM is really, really bad. So definitely not a class I would use. Honestly, on this class, Chimera could probably even go like 1 down, could go into C tier. I would definitely just use Cobra over that. I don't even know why that, like, Cobra should be the tier 6 and Chimera should be the tier 5, honestly. So Overlord, this is the marksman class. He gets a G28 and it shoots M993, so very, very strong. I'd say that this can't, depending on the map, this could contend in S tier. Yeah, honestly, we'll put this on S tier on the chance that you're playing a map where it matters. I think on some maps it's actually worse than, you know, like the Butcher. It just depends if you're playing like a closed map like Equator or Bay 5, or if you're playing like a wide open map like Air Pit or Bull or Sawmill. You know, on Sawmill, this is probably the best kit in the game. But if you're not playing Sawmill, then I'd probably put this kit like right there. Yeah, it's definitely an S tier kit, really, really strong. We can go take a look at it real quick. If you want to grind down it on the marksman tree, you know, you go down OWL on the left side. It's actually not too bad. You get to grind like an RFB, an SR25, then you get an RSAS, and then you get to the G28. And you get the M993, which is 70 and 67, so you're basically two-tapping anyone. You get the Comtax 4, which is the best headset in the game, and you got a really nice trooper armor. And yeah, it's really strong. The gun looks a little bit ridiculous if you're using it in the game, and it's definitely really heavy, hard on the ergo and stuff, but it feels really, really nice. You can shoot pretty fast with it, and honestly the hip fire feels great with it. So definitely a great gun, really, really strong, and it's a kit that I'm seeing a lot, and a lot of people are like top fragging in my games with it. So if you want to have some fun and you don't want to like be rushing like with the Butcher, or the Butcher's just not your style, this is going to be the kit that I grind for next, for sure. Okay, moving back to our tier list. Gaze, this is another marksman. This is the or the bolt action instead of a semi-automatic. I think this has its place, definitely like on the longer range maps, but it's just not as strong as all the other classes. I'd probably put it in B tier above Haymaker. It's decent. We can switch back over. Yeah, and the marksman, it's down the right side, which is absolute awful to grind up. You have to be a Mosin man, then an SV98. With these you do get like, you know, like an MP5 and stuff, but your armor usually sucks. And yeah, so it can be a little bit rough. So it's really map dependent. If you ever want to play these characters, you get the M800 probably, and then you get an AXMC with Lapua Magnum, so you should be one-shotting basically anyone, which can definitely be really strong. And then you also get a Vector with PvP GZH, which is really good ammo, so you definitely can do the close quarters decently. And the TV110 is level 4 armor, not level 5, which is a little bit rough, but you do get a Grizzly, so I was right there, like a couple other classes with the Grizzly. But yeah, so you know, it depends whether you want to run this class. Is very like gameplay dependent, map dependent, and like play style dependent as well, but it's definitely like not bad. It's just I personally am probably never going to grind to that class. Next, Ajax is not a tier 6 class, however a lot of people are playing it, so I just wanted to give it the honorable mention. I won't put it up here because it's definitely not the best. We'll put it in the top of B tier, but it does, I know a lot of people who have been enjoying playing as they grind up, and it's just an honorable mention. It's in the scout class. Here, we'll switch over real quick. It's a pretty good kit. You know, you get M995, however it does shoot really, really slow with 650 RPM. You get a level 5 armor, no helmet, and some pretty good razor. Yeah, I'm just mentioning it because I know a lot of people are enjoying grinding it. I definitely wouldn't suggest grinding it over the right side. I think the right side of Scout is much better, but some people are going it. I think some people want to unlock Reaper, from what I can tell. I actually haven't gone against a lot of Reapers. That's why it's not really on my tier list, just because I don't really know a lot of people that run it. It looks decent. The only issue is that your damage is pretty low on the APSX, so you got to be going for headshots most likely if you're going to want this to work out. But yeah, just honorable mention, Ajax is decent, just not the best. I definitely say there are easier classes to grind down, like the right side of Scout and then also the left side of Assault, or I mean CQB, my bad. Anyways, back to the tier list. Finally, our last one, Nightmare. Again, not a tier 6 kit, but decent. I'd say honestly probably up there in A tier. Very, very strong. I'll show you it. We already went over it once earlier, but it's in the CQB on the right side, Nightmare. You get the Blackout AP, and then you also get 60 rounds of Blackout CBJ. You get a level 5 armor and a level 4 helmet with the face shield, so definitely pretty strong. I've been absolutely destroyed by some of these, and grinding up towards it is actually really nice because Cavalier feels great. You get the level 4 helmet and the level 6 armor, which is pretty insane. And then you get an MPX with PvP, which this is actually a really strong kit, especially with the level 6 armor. So it feels really nice grinding up to Nightmare. And the grind, you know, Bromine's a really nice class as well. You know, just grinding up this tree really works quite nicely. So that's something to keep in mind. The grind can be really rough in arena, so you want to go down a class that's easy to grind. When I was grinding up Assault, it was definitely awful, and I hated every minute of it, and I really regret grinding it, even though I do enjoy Brigadier quite a bit. So anyways, those are the majority. I think if we go through here real quick, you know, Eraser's like something that you could go, but I haven't seen anyone run it yet. Mouse, I've been seeing a lot of people. I don't think I'm missing any other ones that I really am seeing people run quite a bit. So yeah, I think that's basically it. We'll go back to the tier list, and this will be the final tier list. This is just sort of so you know how I would rank the different classes in the game right now, and whether you would want to play them or not, or grind for them. And yeah, I hope you found this helpful. I don't know if they're going to change the way the ranked preset system works when they wipe. Hopefully they do. It sort of sucks right now, and matchmaking is definitely really screwed up, so I could make a whole video over that. Veritas already did, so go check that out if you haven't. It's a great video. But yeah, anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you to my channel members, Jed and Hastral, for the continued support. And yeah, thanks for watching, y'all. I'll have a video up in the corner if you want to go watch that. And yeah, I'll see you next time.